Hey team, today we're going to go over 2 punch block defenses and also some stabilization to make sure your stance is nice and secure. The first thing we're going to do is look at our stance. So if you are in an altercation and you end up standing like this, then it's pretty obvious that you're going to potentially get into a fight, right? Whereas if you stand a bit more flat-footed with your hands up and be able to talk to the person, try to calm them down, then that's more of a defensive posture still, but it's not aggressive. Okay, but one of the key things we have to do is make sure that you're not off balance. Right? If you just stand there, like most people stand with their weight sort of half and half or in their heels, if somebody gives you a push, then you're really off balance. Okay, so one of the little details and part of this invisible jiu-jitsu is actually making small adjustments which will affect your stability in this sort of situation. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a little bit of weight through your toes, right? Like you're sort of holding a cockroach underneath your toes, but you're not squashing the cockroach, right? You're not putting all your weight on your toes and making it look too obvious. Okay? You're just putting enough weight through there that you are consciously putting some weight through your toes, right? And you're going to do a really slight bend in your knees. Okay? So not here, not leaning forward like this, where you'll look like an egg. Okay? You're going to have just enough weight through your toes and just a slight bend to your knees, and then you're going to put your hands up. So you can talk to the person, right? Hey, sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. Let's work this out. Okay? If they do end up pushing you, this makes you a lot more stable, right? And then you're going to put back one of your legs. Generally, I guess if you know some hand stuff, it'll be your right leg back. If you're right-handed, it'll be your right leg back. So you've got your power punch. Potentially, if you've done more wrestling, judo, or jiu-jitsu, you might step back with your left leg so you can shoot in for a double leg, right? So whatever leg is natural for you, that's absolutely fine. But just make sure you've got this stance right first. Okay, so a good way to practice to make sure that you're not overcompensating is to actually do this and then close your eyes. Okay, so a little bend in your leg and a little bit of weight through your toes. Because if you overbalance, you'll look like this, right? Because you're anticipating somebody pushing you. So I'm going to ask Dawn to push you, and I'm going to show you what the normal reaction is if you haven't practiced this properly, right? So wait a second to push me, and we'll do this. So your general reaction will be this: eyes closed, toes in the mat, and you'll end up doing that. Right? So you want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So have your toes in the mat, slight bend in your knees, and then just close your eyes. Once Dawn gives me a push, and I don't know when she's going to give me a push, then you're nice and stable. So that's a good way to practice that exercise. Okay, so now that we have the footwork done, you also need to make sure that your hands are in position, right? We're not going to be standing here ready to look like we're going to fight, okay? We're going to be here in a defensive position, trying to talk our partner or person or aggressor or attacker, trying to calm them down or talk them down, right? So make sure your hands are up here, okay? Not down here. You don't want to protect your shoulders. You want to protect your head, right? This also protects you from someone attacking from the side as well. Okay, so we'll be here, like, hey man, sorry, I didn't mean to do that, let's work this out. Let's have hugs, not drugs, hugs, okay? But make sure your hands are up, protecting your head. Look, my fingertips are covering the top of my head, and the arm is covering all the way down. All I need to do is to protect my body is do this, and this to protect my head. Okay, so once your partner's pushed, okay, then you're going to start looking to punch block. So when you punch block, you're doing the same thing. You're creating a barrier, right? You're creating a barrier from the tip of your head, covering your head almost down to your ribs. So never try to catch the person's arm, because if I try to catch the person's arm, I could miss and I get sconed right in the noggin, right? So you want to block. You want to block here. Then you can catch. Okay? And it's going to be the same on the other side. Block. Catch. So that is how we block and catch our partner's arms, right? So we're standing in position, hands up, push, block, catch, block, catch. From here, I want you to place your head in the top quarter of your partner's shoulder, here. Okay, so this is going to become my pushing mechanism. From here, both hands are going to come behind your partner's back. So I use a gable grip or an S grip for this, or even like a guillotine grip, okay? But obviously not a weak grip that's going to fall apart, definitely not like this. Okay, so a nice strong grip. From here, my body is like a shape of a C, okay? Because I want to pull my partner's belly button to my belly button. If my body's upright, it'll look like this, and I'll never ever push my partner over. Okay, we call that a hug. Okay, so you actually want to pull your partner's belly button into you. You want to drive your head forward and you want to walk over. So I go like this to get your partner to the ground. Okay, so toes in the mat, slight bend in your knee, hands up. Hey, I'm sorry about that. Push, and then block, block. Head in the top quarter of your partner's shoulder, arms straight underneath. Gable grip, S grip, guillotine grip, doesn't matter. Drive your head forward, pull your partner's belly button to you, and walk forward. To get your partner on the ground, from here, we're in mount position, we can punch, we can attack, we can finish from here. Okay, our second defense, the first part is exactly the same. However, now we're going to finish with a throw. Okay, so instead of both arms swimming under, only one arm's going to swim under. So we start in the same position, toes, knees bent, hands up, partner pushes. Okay, one block, two block. Okay, instead of bringing both arms under now, okay, I keep one arm and the other arm goes under, and I move to the side. So if we come over here, okay, my feet are either side of my partner's leg. This leg has enough room to get through. This arm is still captured. Right, so I've gone from here, arm underneath, move to the side. This arm becomes my pulling arm, and this arm is around the waist. Okay, so we're looking at a ogoshi throw, so a major hip throw. Your leg's going to come through. You always want your hip line lower than your partner's hip line. Okay, because if I'm up here, all my partner has to do is drive her hips through, and I'll never get the throw. Okay, so as I come through, I bump my partner's hip back. Okay, I've still got hold of this arm. Okay, it was here. So it was here. My feet are nice and narrow. Okay, so one thing you see is people throw like this, but if you throw like this and they land on your leg, oh, they're going to bust your leg. So make sure your feet are narrow, but your hip is wide. Block, block. Underneath, slide in front. Okay, this becomes your pulling arm. Your feet are nice and narrow. You use your quad muscles to lift your partner up. And then you're going to look behind you. So I want to look at my partner's back foot. And what this does is this makes my partner slide off my shoulder. So I look here to get your partner to the ground. So that is our number 2. These are for your self-defense for your blue belt exam. Keep practicing.